Ah, so good. Come on in, we're going to have a guest. And you don't know who it is yet. And it would be really good to not have applesauce on me. I could really use a towel on my chest. Come on in. So I'll tell you what we're up to very soon. Going to use lots of napkins. So here's the plan. I'm going to test some guests who have already signed in, but have not yet been approved. So I'm going to see the technology will be a little wonky today. Let's see what happens. All right. Let's see if I can check out some people in no particular order. And you'll get to talk. Maybe. Can anybody hear me? All right. Let me pick Richard. So on Locals, the Locals platform, I just invite participants, right? I'm trying to invite. Let's see what happens. Require approval. Yes. In progress. So step away. I'll be with you as soon as I figure out the technology here. You're in the waiting room. Your participants. I know you're in the waiting room. See what happens. Well, clicking on the participants doesn't help. Invite participants. Why doesn't it work? 2 of 9 want to go in. There's only 2 of us. But Richard is off. It could be that Richard does not have his microphone on. Let's go to the waiting room where there are many more people. I'm going to accept, 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 accept. And then we'll go to that waiting room. Really? Could I not really figure this out? So it'd be participants 4 out of 9. Let's see what happens when I go to the auto. Okay, that's just me. Duo, just me. This would be really cool if it worked. So I guess you're going to bear with me. What do you see? Just me, right? Time to take a free sip. Yep, that burned me. Ouch. Good morning. All right. Still trying to get anything but me on the screen. So there's the screen share. There is not that. It's a participation. Copy, invite. That part worked. What is that? Accept. Crusher. Is it accepted? Requires approval. Yes. Accept. accept. Now I've got participants, 6 of 9 participants. They're in the waiting room. And I click on them and nothing happens. If I go to the participants, there's a whole bunch of people with their microphones off. But the microphones do not come on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Whoa, what's this? Promote to moderator. Let's try this. Somebody might be getting promoted to a moderator, but I don't know who. I cannot make out this interface at all. All right, require approval. Yes. Man. Waiting room. Ingress. Nothing. Participants. I've actually got a new moderator picked, but it doesn't go active. It's all red. All right, let's try this. I'm going to take a picture of my screen. We're going to go old tech here. Oh, no. I'm going to take a picture of my screen, and then you're going to tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong. And then I'm going to send this to anybody who knows what button to push. Of course, it's totally unreadable. All right. So I've got this. Oh, maybe this is it. Oh, hold on. What happens if I pick solo and pick you? Then that would have to be. Still trying to get to the. All right. So you can see me now, right? So here's what we're going to do. If I go to my locals, I won't be able to see your comments. Could you not hear me before? There was no sound before. All right. For a few minutes, we're going to let you come in and just enjoy the day. And then we will do a simultaneous sip. I was hoping that some of you had looked at the news today and you could be my instant co-host. But there does seem no way to put another face on here without really making me mad. So if it were a duo, let's see what happens with a duo. Duo, nothing changes. Auto. Let's see if auto changes. I've definitely got people here who want to come in, but we cannot figure out how. You can talk among yourselves. That would be perfectly acceptable. All right, so if you're coming in late, I was trying to wake up late, unprepared, and simply post some of you on the screen. If you didn't notice, there's a link to join that is on locals. So if you go to my locals feed, it'd have to be on mine, you should see the invitation. It will apply only to locals people who can find it. If you can't find it, it's not going to work. And then I would go back to, oh, here we go.
Hey, Scott.
What just happened?
I enabled my camera.
All right, who am I talking to?
This is Richard Pickett, one of your fans.
Oh my God. So are you telling me that the problem was not on my side?
Yeah, yes, I thought you maybe had accidentally invited some of us into the studio and you didn't really expect us to be here. So out of respect for you, I just kept my camera and my microphone off.
Oh, so the whole time I thought the problem was on my end.
It was just us.
Just being shy. Yay. Yay. All right, so we are deep into the simultaneous sip experience. I'm going to read it off of my other cup and then use my real cup. Is everybody ready for this? All right. The simultaneous sip. All you need is a cup or a mug or a glass, a tanker, a chalice or stein, a canteen jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And join me now for the unparalleled pleasure of the dopamine here today, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, which is actually in my other cup. It's time. Go. Ah. Now that's good. Now I can hear everybody's microphone unless you turn it off. You don't have to turn it off because I want this to feel like you're just in my living room. And we're all invited over. Some of you have some beverages, some of you don't. So, of course, there'd be some background noise. But the vibe would be we just found some stuff to talk about. Now, if you could hear yourself, you probably want to turn it down or off. But I love a little bit of background noise. Does anybody have anything to eat? No? Is there anybody who wants to tell me what's going on today in the news? You just volunteer. And by the way, if you don't have anything to talk about, perfectly fine. We're just getting together and experiencing the simultaneity. And as you can see, the chat is working fine. So we've got, it looks like we've got as many people as ever. So here's an update. I think I'm hearing myself. Let me test this. Am I hearing myself? Am I hearing myself? Not bad. So the big reason I can't work this morning, and maybe not again, in the usual way, is that my hands have some kind of shaking. And when I try to type, my hands do this phantom typing. So I keep selecting things that would, put me in jail. And so I can do voice dictation. Voice dictation is just would take up maybe. Oh, don't cry. I'm here. It just won't be as good a show. So who do we have in the middle? Who is it? Who is the nice woman with the glasses on in the middle of my screen?
That's me, Nicole.
Hi.
Hi. It's great to see you and talk to you today.
Likewise. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Oh, man, I didn't know I was going to be on, so I'm not prepared. But I didn't do anything this morning. I had my breakfast tacos and my matcha latte, and I didn't read the news yet.
Well, here's what we can do something for you. If there's nobody who doesn't practice in public speech, and if you get off guard, you totally have nothing to say, you should always have something prepared. So
That's a very good point.
That's a Dale Carnegie trick.
Yeah.
So Dale Carnegie always says, always have a story prepared, because you never know. So, and the second thing you learn is not to be embarrassed. So if you can do those two things, not be embarrassed, and also come up with a story, you can have a really successful morning, because that's just practice. So here's my putting you on the spot for the purpose of giving you practice being put on the spot. Number one, and this applies to all but one of us. One of us is the right distance from the screen. It's the gentleman on the top right of my screen. I don't know where you are, but the bearded gentleman with the headphones. So wave if you hear me. Right. So I believe he probably has more experience than you do in how to set up the right height and everything. You also want to make sure that you're the right height. So he's got the right height and the right distance. When all of you sat down, it didn't look like the height or distance. Now, and by the way, I trouble catching your name. I've got a little hearing problem right now. What's your name? The nice woman in the glasses. Wait, what's your name?
Nicole.
Nicole. So Nicole, you are now perfectly set up, and you are the inspiration to the rest of us. So you got the right height, and you got the right distance. If you get too close, it's creepy to the person on the other side. So that's
Yeah.
important. All right, now I stalled a little bit, and it made me wonder if I could prompt you a little story, very short, it doesn't have to be long, about anything from what was the first time you joined Coffee with Friends. I'll pick that one because the reason you practice with that one is that you already know the answer. You don't have to think about it, just presentation. So, with our permission, and mostly with your permission, just tell us briefly how you came upon it, how long you've been watching it, and then also make it succinct so we can get to somebody else.
Perfect. Okay. So I always read Dilbert growing up, and I was always, when I went on my work travels, in particular, I'd be riding the London Tube, and I would be just like stifling my laughter because it's not really appropriate to laugh out loud on the tube. And so it was, I already knew of you through that, but then I started looking for the comic online when I stopped getting the newspaper. And I think it was through reading the comic online that I heard about your blog. And then it was through the blog that I eventually heard about the Periscope. So I've been watching for a long time. But yeah, that's how, like, I really just found you by seeking out Dilbert comics and then liking the blog content and moving on to liking the Periscope and just keeping on going.
So I would rate that A+.
Thanks.
Excellent. I also just realized that Matt, who has added his name to the screen, so apparently there's an option for adding your name, right?
That's correct.
Matt, can you tell us what you do for a living that would suggest why you kind of were the first and best rollout? What is in your background?
Well, the funny thing is that I'm a software engineer, so like I already work from home. I have a setup for all this. So the distance from the screen, I take meetings all day like this. Actually, probably should be in a meeting right now, but there's sometimes more important things. I'll be honest. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, and I started listening to you back in 2016. Read your blog, came upon our very first Periscopes you were doing as well, the first Simultaneous SIP. So been around for a long time, off and on. I haven't been here every day throughout that time, but there's been periods of time where I listen a lot. Sometimes work makes it very hard for me to join live. So oftentimes my listening is later in the day. But, I've always appreciated the SIPs, and yeah, just I had started in the corporate world right when I met you, or met you through your Periscope and everything and your blogs. So it was a perfect time for me to start my career. And honestly, you've had a tremendous influence on the trajectory of my career and how far that's gone for me up to this point. So thank you so much for that.
Wow, you're very good at this. The only thing I would advise is if I can see your ceiling, then your camera setup has to be a little bit higher.
I usually blur out the background actually when I'm in my work meetings, but that's a great point. So thank you.
And there's these, I think you've seen it in the man cave. There's these little wooden stands. They say it's for your printer, but it's way better for adjusting your camera. So that's.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Excuse me, there's going to be some burping. In the middle of my screen, I see two gentlemen who are bearded who do not have their names up. Is it intentional that I can't see your name? Because there's obviously a place to put it somewhere.
I think I have my name, but I see that it's showing up on the bottom bar, but not showing up on your presenter view. I'm not sure why it doesn't display in Rumble.
This is going to go away from me right away.
But also, I don't see anyone else's names in the top view. I only see our names down where we're pictured below.
So now Matt's name is gone. I wonder why. Let me try.
On my end.
Bearded man number 1 and bearded man number 2. We'll try sorting that out. All right, so I'm going to try some other people coming in just to give them a chance, okay? Might make everybody disappear. All right, we got 9 people, but there are more. Most of the problems are on my end, it looks like. I like it when you sit here and let me work out my tech problems. All right, we'll go to duo. Okay, that's duo mode. So if this were an official presentation, I'd want you to look about where I look. If you can see the size and no ceiling. All right, I'm going to be just struggling through this. So I'm going to go to there's a participant place where I can add more people. Invite participants. This is where my finger is doing things I don't want it to do. So 57 of them. Oh, I can scroll them, okay. I was missing the scroll. All right, we'll invite a few more people. Or am I? Why is it not accepting? Feel free to sip. Invite participants, okay. How could this not be working? Okay, reject.
Hey, Scott, while you do that, would it be okay if I tell my story about how I came across you?
Oh, I'd love that, yes.
Okay, so I grew up on your comics. You're probably about 10 years older than me. So I kind of always looked at you like the older brother or the smarter uncle. And I remember reading the comics. We had one of the worst bosses I've ever had. He would say things through the week and it would show up in your comics the next weekend, something that the pointy haired boss did. So we started clipping them out and putting them on his door. And he would come into work and he'd read them and he wouldn't realize it was about him. And he would just die laughing. He just thought they were the funniest thing. One day it came out that was really him. And he got so upset. He just came and like literally clawed everything off of his door because he was so pissed off. And then, of course I bought your books through the years, followed your comics, and I didn't really pay a lot of attention to politics. I knew this kerfluffle was going on with Trump during his first year, but then during COVID, I was really looking for someone to help bring stability to my view. And, we had the summer of love and all that kind of crazy stuff that was going on. And you really helped stabilize me. You reminded me that we had a dark period in the 60s and 70s of a lot of internal turmoil. And you really helped provide the stability to me to know that we'll make it. And we'll get through this. And then I thought it was wonderful for us to see, Trump 2 get started. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me through probably the darkest period I've ever been through with our country, which has been the past 4 to 5 years. So thank you.
Wow. It makes me really happy when people tell me I helped. And that was maybe the darkest period of my life. Would you agree? If you looked
Yes,
at not just your own personal life, but if you looked at society, that was the darkest point.
And I'm sure there are tens or hundreds of thousands of people just like me who you helped through that period of time.
All right, I'll put you on the spot. What were the things I did besides just being here that made the biggest difference? Was there something I said or did or allowed that really got you to that point of I can make it through this?
Some of it was realizing that you called balls and strikes. You were not 100% Trumpian, and you could point out some bad things on the side of the right, but the we've been here before. We've had this sort of thing happen in the past, and we'll make it through. And especially because I didn't live through it, but I remember the stories of the turmoil we had in the 60s and 70s. That was a period of my parents. And you reminding me that our country had already been there and we made it out. Another thing was you gave hope that I really felt like and still feel like most of our politicians in the deep state structure is evil, and it's in place and it's fighting to survive. But it seemed like you gave the golden age was something that you kept bringing up, and it gave this light that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Good.
And the right will prevail. I don't mean the right side, left and right politics. I mean the right way of doing things will prevail, and just be patient. And that really helped me through that period of time.
Wow. Do you remember that in the first days when there were these presumably now fake videos of Chinese people falling on the streets? That was scary. And do you remember that I was very angrily, or at least animatedly, saying we should shut down traffic from China at least until we figured out what was going on? Do you remember that?
Yes, sir. And there was so much opposition to that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Trump had it right too with ISIS, and Trump won. He greatly restricted immigration and who was coming into our country, and the left was vehemently opposing him. And turns out he was right. The left got their way for 4 years, and it's been a disaster. And now we see not all Muslims, not all people in Islam. I don't want to classify them that way, but we see that there's this huge threat that we've allowed into our country through their 4 years, and now hopefully Trump will be able to correct that.
Yeah, it was tough to be a persuader during that period because you didn't know what to persuade to. I'm no doctor, but if somebody shows me pictures of people dropping on the street in another country, and then they say, this could be really catchy, my first instinct is just, you do it as the lowest risk. So I was like, all right, hold on. Let's find out what this is. Now, I don't know if that was a right or wrong choice. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that will be lost in history. I'm sure there's, X number of things I got wrong, X number of things I got right. But since nobody knew the truth at that point, we got smarter over time. But since nobody knew the truth, I was very much into the risk-reward mode.
I would say, actually, you mentioned that you may have some things that you got right, some things that you got wrong. I think that people unfortunately for them, they view things like that. And I think that you touched on the thing that is correct. You do risk reward analysis. This was another thing that you taught us very well. You do risk reward analysis, and then you act off of that. It doesn't mean your outcome will always be the right way, or that you'll always avoid the wrong, but at least you did it with a lot of forethought. So me deciding to drive a car, although thousands of people die in car accidents, every year, is a
Right.
risk reward analysis. It doesn't mean I'll never die in a car accident. It doesn't mean that I definitely will, but I'm going to do sound analysis before I take action. And this is what we were missing during the times of COVID, is they just said, 6 feet, everybody will die. You all have to wear a mask. And it was just ridiculous.
Right. All right. So have we given time for anybody to check the news and fill me in on what's happening on X? Anybody got a good story? Just based on the news, not based on yourself. So is Iran about to fall? What do you think? Anybody can jump in. If you take your microphone off, you could just fill us in. And by the way, do you know all the good places to check? If you're not watching on X, if you're not watching Mario Nawful, you're missing a great way to start the morning. Because he has these long summaries of what's happening for the topics of the day. And boy, are they good. And he gets up before I do, and I'm always impressed.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Can you hear me? My name's Shawn Carlson. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, come on in.
I want to just say thank you for everything you've done. You've been a great inspiration to me. I'll start. I live in Plymouth, Minnesota, so I'm just outside of Minneapolis. And so they've been having all kinds of protests and unrest after the tragic shooting of that girl. My first impression of it is I was talking a lot about it with coworkers and different people yesterday, and everyone is sad because this girl lost her life. But it's hard to say that she shouldn't have been there and she shouldn't have been antagonized. The general consensus that we got from the people that work around me in my bubble is that she shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been antagonizing these people, and she shouldn't have been, we can't, as you've always taught, and I actually mentioned this yesterday, as you've always taught, you can't get inside of that person's head and assume what she was thinking. Right. And I actually brought that up to my coworkers, and we don't know what the ICE officer agent was thinking at that time. I'm assuming he was in fear of his life, or he was in fear of something worse happening. So the overall response that we've had from our political leaders here, I'm looking at Jacob Fry on the news here, and then I've looked at Tim Walz and their response too. And the one thing that I get an immediate gut reaction to is that they're ineffective leaders. And the reason I say that is that they posted their conclusions prior to having all the evidence. And so when I was talking to my coworkers and such, they kind of agreed with me on that. And, small group, 8 people. So it was a small census of what's happening. But the people that I was talking to, they live in Minneapolis. They live in the South. They live a couple miles from where it happened. And so they're seeing the ICE agents out there. They're seeing the other people as well. So it's a new story that's developing here, and now, it's also.
Is that the story of the ICE agent who had already been hit once?
It was, yeah. And from what I understand, that the gentleman had been hit. He was hospitalized. He had 33 stitches from being hit with a car. And so, did that play an effect into his mindset of when this, seemingly maybe similar event occurred with him? I don't know. But I think he'll have his story to tell, and he'll have his time there too. And the other, other segue a little bit too, the other main story that's occurring in the news right now is our fraud cases. And it's such a dominating story. You've mentioned so many times on, when you scroll through X, that it's every story in the collective bubble. And the general feeling too here, just again from coffee with my coworkers, is that it's really embarrassing to be a Minnesotan at this point in time. It's shameful to feel like we can't trust our government to be in our best interest. And I've seen different posts, and I've seen different things too, that we I saw one of these. It was a different influencer from a different thing on X, but it was a lady from Brazil. She broke it down very well, and that bribery in Brazil and other countries and third world countries isn't that far off from or loss of trust is the initial thing, and then bribery and subtext of, okay, I'll have to get mine, you have to get yours, and all of these different areas of people not believing in the system. That's when it occurs, when you have that breakdown of trust and that breakdown of belief in government. So
well, I think there's a George Soros type of model going on, meaning that Soros figured out he could control cities by controlling just the prosecutors. And then if you get the mayor, which is also not that expensive, then you can basically steal and cheat any way you want. And it will automatically be something that you could get away with it. So
absolutely.
Why do they get away with it? So
and to your, I've been a listener now for a while, and to you actually opened my eyes to the fact that if there isn't any audits, if there's no controls, you have a bunch of money, a lot of complexity. I think that's your formula: a bunch of money, a lot of complexity. There's automatic theft, and we're finding it in Minnesota that it's at enormous scale. It's not even conceivable that it's beyond. Yeah. We knew it was happening, but it's beyond even comprehension. So it's really shameful.
I've said this on the show, but if you've worked with budgets before, and you start to get this instinct about when the budget is off that other people just can't see. And so I don't know when it was, a year or two ago, I started looking at the budget numbers, and I thought, there's no way that you could get here just by not watching the numbers. So this has to be a coordinated, gigantic effort. And that's what blew me away. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I pray for you every day, actually. So thank you.
So here's what we're trying to do. Trying to move the business model of what we were doing here from the coffee with Scott Adams, which you could enjoy it that way, but try to move it into more of a casual, well-informed living room competition. Or if somebody wants to, not competition, but if somebody wanted to just tell us something that wasn't really coming out. So it could be somebody wanted to say, today I'd like to teach people something I learned on a mini lesson, or something that if you were a young person, you really want to have this skill. So we're going to go on a wild experiment in which there will be rules, but they will be made up by the people who participate. So, for example, who's the gentleman in the middle who had his dog?
It's me, Richard Pickett. Yes,
Richard. I love that. All right, so you're on exactly the right vibe. If you can't pick up your dog in the middle of it, we're not where we want to be. So dogs are good. All right. I don't know how to change the people who have been invited already to another view of people who have been invited already. I might have to delete people to add people. So I'm still experimenting.
Well, I was going to say maybe if we go off camera and you invite more people, then we're off and then new people can come on.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how that out. But I might drop you all. Let's see what happens.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. We'll see if I can. All right, you can't hear me now, right? Well, I can hear you. So if you could turn off your microphone, that would be good. Okay. How about it? Oh, holy cow, here's Mike Burt. Let's see what happens if I go with Mike Burt and Cryptic and Heisenberg. Somewhat random, but I know some of these people by name. Sergio, hello. Sergio's in. Beaver Slayer Jan. Huh. All right, for that, you must be accepted. Wait, it says, I thought I accepted you. Well, maybe it did. And all right, so, oh, there we go. So we've got some people who were on before, some new people. Again, I'm waiting to see if there's any way I can see your names. And I'm going to turn off the microphone for some people. All right, if you've already spoken, I should have found a way to turn you off, but I didn't. All right. I'm going to try to turn on. You know, why is it all the same people? Half of you are the same. Don't know why. All right. Every time I
So
want
can I, Scott, sorry to interrupt you. I
Yeah.
think what's happening, it looks like you've invited 15 people to participate.
Right.
In order for us to come on or come off, like with our cameras, we have to do that ourselves. So we have to either share or unshare our camera. I don't know how to take myself off as a participant, but those people who just joined, if they share their camera, they should be on. And then for those of us who are on, we can unshare ours.
All right. I'm going to hit a dismiss button. It looks like it's going to dismiss everybody, but then I'll add people back on. We'll see what happens. Nope. All right. It took me 3 clicks, but we're not getting anybody here. How do I delete some of you, but not all of you?
JRC, can you turn your camera off? You would also disappear from. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, new people. Hello, new people.
What's up?
All right, we're going to try to. We're going to turn on your microphone. I guess you have it off. So there's a woman in the middle of my screen toward the bottom who has just waved to me. Okay. No, that's another one.
Hello,
Yes, hello.
this is Sara.
Sarah? Did you say Sarah?
Sara, yes.
Sarah, how about you let us know what you're up to? You could tell us what's in the news that we haven't seen yet, or you could talk about something else. We're still experimenting.
Okay. Well, morning. I was just, but anyway, I did catch up on news and, just watching. They left Europe to give us another round of 2020 has me concerned. I think it'll be interesting to see what Trump decides to do, because it seems like the leadership of Minnesota is just baiting them into doing something. And but I don't know that the countries in the same position we were in 2020, in terms of, I guess, being supportive of, what Russia again and fires and lots of destruction. So I'm interested to hear what you think might happen in order to shift the direction that we seem to be going in at the moment.
What are you talking about? The state or the country?
Well, it looks like blue cities are gearing up, right? To, last night, New York City, really getting lots of people out on the street. And then, of course, Minneapolis, it looks like they're trying to set up another Chaz type situation.
Really?
Yeah, they're setting up a barrier around the area where that woman was killed, to keep residents from their homes and everything, is what I saw this morning. So, like I said, are we gonna, sort of just let that go on again, or is something, gonna happen that's a little, stamps it out a little bit better? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Well, at this point, doesn't everybody know that the protests are not organic? It's Soros, it's some guy from China, some billionaire from China. I wonder if it's going to have the same effect when it becomes really, really obvious that it's not coming from inside the tent. It's coming from billionaires who may not have our interest in mind. How many of you knew that these were inauthentic protests? Raise your hand. Yeah. So yep. So I've got a feeling that at least part of the country is completely filled in now. That's got to make a difference, don't you think? So I hope the protests stay weak and that it looks performative.
Okay.
What about the international news? Anybody have any update on Iran? Because that looks as inauthentic as ours. If anybody wants to jump in, just go ahead.
Well, any moment now, it just seems like we're going to jump in on Iran. It's not a moment of if, but when, and it's probably going to be very soon.
Do you believe that we're already poised to go in militarily?
Definitely.
What would
the
that
way that
look
Trump, what would it look like?
Yeah.
I mean, what Trump wants to do, I think, is similar to the Venezuela tactic, which is just a in and out type thing, kind of like what happened a few months ago in Iran, where he bombed the facilities and all that. But other countries want us to, or another country wants us to go all in, more for a regime change type battle. So I'm hoping there's no false flag, nothing that'll draw us in super deep, super heavy into it. So there's no telling. We'll definitely be involved, but to what scale? I don't. Hopefully not super invested in Iran. It's just it's too much of a risk, I think.
So if we don't get invested, what's that going to look like?
Well, it shouldn't be as much of our concern as they're making it out to be. Honestly, we shouldn't be involved in Iran to the extent of interceding if there's like protesters being hit, as Trump mentioned recently. We should help the protesters if they're shot at or killed. That happens a lot more often than not, but it seems like a pretext to be able to say, "Oh, we're jumping in to help," to show face for the international community. But that's more of a pretext because we've been wanting to bomb Iran, according to what they've been indicating, posturing.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of posturing.
Yeah, but it seems inevitable.
There's a gentleman in the top right who has his microphone off. He looks like he's just dying to say something.
Well, hello, Scott. This is Eddie.
Hey, Eddie.
Been a long-time fan, and
Thanks.
love you, man.
Now, the new rules are you don't have to be prepared, and you don't have to say anything in particular. So if you
Completely
just
unprepared.
just like
As I even got logged in.
So, do you have any thoughts on Iran or Venezuela, let's say?
I think with Iran, I'm not sure what we as the U.S. can possibly do to do anything overtly. There's probably plenty going on behind the scenes that we can never understand. I think you might recall a week or two ago, we saw something about Israel claiming they had a presence there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what's really going on with that. So,
yeah, it did make me wonder why Trump would admit that we're there and Mossad is there and we're ready to go. Seemed like too much, but so far, and I guess Elon Musk has sort of secretly provided some Starlinks so they can't turn off the internet entirely. Seems dangerous, though. Is there no way the regime can find out where the Starlinks are and then go kill those citizens?
it's probably hard to trace. If you have a base station and it's pointing straight up at the satellites, I'm not sure what mechanism they'd use to search it. Some sort of radio signal device, maybe, but they would have to know what they're looking for. My dad's got one down in the hills in West Virginia, and it works great. And I could see it being pretty stealthy.
I could imagine it also being discoverable by Chinese technology. Yeah. But maybe not everywhere in every way.
You might have to pick it up and move.
All right. How's this working for all of you? I know you didn't expect
Good.
this.
Love it.
It's great.
I thought you had a nice
I
black
love it.
dog. Show us your dog.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Lyra. Yeah. Let me
Cooperate.
move there. Let me see if I can get her in there. I just adopted her from, let's see if I can get the camera. Right. Yeah, she just came from the shelter a month ago.
Oh,
I'd lost my dog the day before Mother's Day, and it took me 7 months of really grieving and deciding what to do. But she is just a wonderful dog. She's 4 years old, and she has just
good.
made my life complete again. So I'm very happy. And she's real happy here. And I tell her every day she will never be abandoned again.
Well, if you're teaching you English, that's going to work out really well.
That's right. That's right. I've been doing more looking at just by the news by is Robert Garcia, because he's from my city of Long Beach, and most corrupt, I'm sure, stealing every bit of money in the city. It's terribly blue liberal. They actually promote on their website and Facebook page how we're going to fight ICE, and we got to protect all the illegals, and I call him the upcoming designated liar. If you watch him, he's going to become, that's what he's really training for. There's nothing good about what's going on here, and I see it just expanding. They want to, that redistricting, they want to take over the Huntington Beach and the other Orange County cities. They want to put Garcia in there overseeing them because they're very red and very Republican, and you see them trying to squelch everything. So I've been kind of watching, and more. I mean, I love getting all the international news but just seeing what's happening in my area. And so that's a lot of what I do. I just want to thank you. My boyfriend turned me on to you in 2019 when we started dating, and you got me through the pandemic. You have expanded my knowledge, and I've actually helped me um, really turn away and just eliminate toxic people in my life. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for telling me. I always enjoy hearing that. But gentleman in the blue T-shirt in the bottom left.
Hi, Scott. I'm Paul.
Hey, Paul.
It's my second time on your show. First time in person. First time was just in name only. My last name is Skidmore, and I sent you an article about a truck that had crashed with a bunch of marinara sauce all over the road, and you thought that was funny coming from a guy named Skidmore. And so that you opened your show with that one morning. That my dad and I got a big jolt out of that. We listened to all the periscopes and everything all through, especially the early days of the pandemic, and it was really helpful. I got one news thing and one helpful thing since you asked for that.
Okay.
The news thing that I saw that I thought was interesting is that UAE announced that it's going to cut fundings for citizens who want to study in the UK out of fear of Emirati students being radicalized by Muslim Brotherhood Islamists on British campuses.
Oh, wow.
So you have an Arab nation that's saying, "Don't go to the UK; you'll be radicalized." And I've only been to the UK one time. It was to Scotland, but we saw there all these gorgeous, beautiful churches that had been there for centuries, and they're all like bars and nightclubs and stuff now. And I just, it's kind of nature abhors a vacuum. And if you get rid of one ideology, if you get rid of one thing, some other aggressive ideology is going to come in and fill that space. And I think that we are seeing that happen in Europe. And I think, a lot of times the US is just a little bit behind what's going on in Europe politically and culturally sometimes. So I think we need to just look at that and think about that. But I think that it points to things that you've taught us in terms of persuasion, and that if you persuade people against something, then they'll just focus on that negative thing, or other negative things will come in. But if you persuade somebody towards something, then there's some new positive thing that fills that space, and you sort of don't go back from there. And so anyway, that's why I feel like your stuff has been important for us, because it gives us, more often than not, it gives us something to look forward to, and to fill all of our fear, our anxiety. It gives us some sort of positive thing or some action to take, which I've really been appreciative of.
Yeah, I've been making a big deal about the fact that the world never stays the same. And if you're moving, and everything does, you're either getting bigger or you're getting smaller. And once you realize that that's like almost an unbreakable rule, then you can sort of see the future. So to the extent that Islam is growing in Europe, once it reaches a kind of maybe a 10% threshold, you can't stop it. So the only thing that would stop it is something that reversed it, because stopping isn't an option. So it looks to me like Europe, or most of it, is going to become Islamic, and there's nothing about it.
It's an intentional part of at least a section of the ideology. I've seen it here in my hometown here in the South in the US, where a little tiny Baptist church has a giant mosque built behind it. It's built specifically as close to the property line as they can get it, higher than the church, so that you see the mosque over the church as you're driving towards it. It's really intentional. And I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm trying to learn a little bit about it, but I just think it's something that we should take note of, especially when other Arab nations are like, "Hey, don't go over there." My useful thing, which is probably just a rehash of things that you shared with us before, but I'm an extremely introverted person. And when called upon, I can talk about things that I'm passionate about without an issue. I don't have any problems with public speaking. I don't get stage fright or anything. But when it comes to talking with a group of people or being in a social situation, that has been difficult for me historically. But one question that I have found that has helped me with that is, what are you thankful for? And you can ask that to somebody in an elevator. You can ask that to your cashier, to your the person serving you at a restaurant. You can ask it to your family, to your best friend. And it's better than how are you, because it doesn't demand sort of a pad answer, makes them have to think about it, makes them think about positive things. Even if they give you a pad answer back, like, oh, my family or my job, that gives me something to then say, does your family live here? Or how long have you been working here? Or something that just kind of gives me a genuine interaction with a human being. I'm a spiritual person, but not everybody is. And so saying things like, can I pray for you about something or something like that is sometimes a little too forward for people. But I don't think I've ever had anybody be offended by asking what they're thankful for. And so if there's other people watching that find it difficult to start conversations, that's a great conversation starter, and it'll give you some place to go.
That is a really good tip, because I can tell you're not intimidated by any kind of anything, basically. You're obviously a brave person who overcomes, not a stage fright, but you know what I mean. Dale Carnegie has this little list of things you should ask. Where do you work? Blah, blah. But yours would work every time, because it makes people stop and think. And it makes them stop and think about something positive. So that's a really good tip.
So what are you thankful? What are you thankful for this morning, Scott?
You know what? I'm thankful that we're here and we're making this experiment, and that so far it looks like it works. Now we don't know how well it will. I'm still slurring my speech from the paralysis. We don't know how it will work if I'm not part of the mix. But what I'm seeing already is that people are polite, well-informed, and willing to sort of adopt a set of standards without being told. And that's actually exciting to me, because I don't believe every audience would be able to do what we're doing right now, which is taking turns, waiting, understanding the role, and then being polite about it. So with that, I want to thank you for this gentleman who's been waiting here a long time, whose name I don't know. You have a black beard and some headphones on. If your microphone is on, can you jump right in? Don't have sound yet. Is your microphone off? Yeah. So we can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. There must be a microphone button somewhere on your screen. No? It should be in the bottom left, or just the bottom. No?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
What was it? Oh,
weird. Yeah. I use my headset for everything else, but yeah, now this is thank you, Scott. So yeah, I just had a story about like how you actually like really helped me surprise my wife on my wedding. It was like a year-long thing. So like my wife, she's a great singer, right? She loves to sing, and so I used what you taught us to like teach myself like how to sing in like a year's time. Not great, but like better than I was for sure. But yeah, so I surprised her at a wedding with a song, and so the way he helped me was through systems over goals, affirmations, and then simulation as well. So I scheduled, doing like weekly like vocal lessons and like doing like it for like a half hour every day, like going through it. And then I was doing affirmations, and my affirmations were this is like the crazy part is that my affirmations were I was saying to my wife perfectly. All right, I was saying to my wife perfectly, and I would write that down every day. But I was super nervous about it, and so I would do that, and then as I was picking my song, the song I ended up picking was "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran, and unbeknownst to me, that's the same song that she ended up walking down the aisle to. Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was crazy. But yeah, so we get to the day, get to the part where I sing to her, and I've been practicing this like forever because of the systems, and I had a special vocal like backing for it, like a special like piano version of the song. So I sent it to the DJ, and the DJ was streaming it. And then halfway through the song, the internet goes out. Like, so I'm up there, and my wife is there, and like I'm in front of all of our family and friends, and I got through the first verse, and then I had to go to the second verse, and then I just did a cappella. So I was like, we're in a simulation, and it doesn't matter anyway. So I'm just going to do it, Um, and yeah, then like with the affirmations and her picking that song, and I was like, this is my chance. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go for it, a cappella, and I did it. That's like the part that everybody remembers, and yeah, I'm very very grateful for your teachings.
The fact that you could get through that and that you could just instantly accommodate it is super impressive. I've had some speeches like that where the sound goes down in the middle and blah blah blah, and it's recovering that people remember. So, how comfortable would you be singing to us right now? No, hold on, not the whole song, but just a little snippet to just show us where you're at. And remember, the goal here is not to do it well. The goal is to show us that you could do it, that you're not afraid of it, and that's something you've conquered. It could be 5 seconds long. But if you feel comfortable, I don't want to put you in a spot, but I also do. I do want to put you in a spot just because I want to see. I want you to see that the other people will just sort of appreciate it. But there's no downside to it whatsoever.
Do you improv?
I found a love for me, darling. Just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the one waiting for me.
Nice.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm so nervous right now. But, yeah, thank you.
Now, what did you just learn? It's a positive experience.
Yeah. No, I feel good for doing it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that story. Thanks for the accompaniment.
Yeah, thank you.
Who's doing the accompaniment? What's your name?
My name's Jeff, Colorado.
That was nice. How did you know what to play?
I just strumming some chords, some basic chords here. I've actually got I've got the Wichita lineman here drawn up in tablature. It's a beautiful song. I'm learning to play that today.
One of the best songs of all time. All right, well, that was impressive. If you had put me on the spot like that, that would have been a challenge. And I do a lot of this, online. So,
I thought you might ask, but when I brought the story, oh man, that's so funny. But yeah, I don't know. I am the one so ever since I started doing that, I'm the one at our parties and stuff doing karaoke, and I'm kind of known for that now, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, you gave me a good gift.
Yeah, you have a great natural voice. So that's half the game.
Thank you.
So,
I've got a tip for you. Just record yourself and listen to your voice over and over and see yourself improve and actually begin to enjoy your voice more. And I think that helps you evolve as a performer.
Yeah. So I actually, after we sang, like I was like, I've gotten out of it. Like I practiced so much for the wedding, and after the wedding, like I don't know. We do it for fun, but I'm not like I don't want to do it like super perfect. I don't know if with more systems I could for sure.
Good point.
Well, that was a great experiment. And let's talk to some other people. I usually don't go too far down the music road because I don't know anything about it. But I see Mike Bird up here. Is Mike Bird on screen? Maybe view all.
May I make one point about the affirmations?
Yes.
So in one of your books or in several of your listenings, you had said that you had not kind of figured out how to make the affirmations or why they work. I actually did some research on it. And so the neurobiology of your brain, so you have an area of your brain called the reticular activating system. And so your brain itself only follows I've developed the whole system, and largely in credit to you, but your brain will follow instructions unconsciously. So it'll search for meaning throughout the day. And so whatever you put into it, I'm going to sing beautifully to my wife, or I'm going to, be the best #1 comic in the world. Your brain finds meaning in the world. And so it's how we are neurobiologically wired so that we could survive. And so we need to find food. We need to find a mate. We need to find, shelter. When we're programming our mind into the affirmation itself, it actually searches for meaning where there wasn't one. Like it's like you buy a car and all of a sudden you see that car, or you've bought a house and all of a sudden you see that house. That's the neurobiology wiring for it. So, anyways, thanks for helping me go down that rabbit hole.
Now I'm seeing. I don't see who is talking. I can't figure that out. Wait.
They had their camera off.
Oh, camera off.
I had my camera off, Scott. So I was chiming in. Thanks.
No, one more thing could I add to it? That they taught us was the embarrassment is a superpower.
Right.
Not getting embarrassed is a superpower. And that's definitely very helpful. Just want to add that. Thanks.
Do we have a cat? All right, we're going to go to Catman.
I can get off mute. I don't know how long Catman will last. This is Cat Peanut. She's very unhappy about it.
Well, did you have something you'd like to contribute or add?
Yeah, they don't do it.
Yeah, cats are not very patient. Yeah, thanks, Scott. It's this is such a fun format, and kudos to the gentleman that sang on live. So I was actually, the thing I wanted to share was that how freeing it is that not being afraid of embarrassment. That's had a huge impact for me. Just not taking yourself too seriously and living life like the adventure that it is. So that's been hugely impactful for me. So I appreciate that, Scott. And this format's a lot of fun. So I was not expecting that. I've missed 4 work calls. A lot of emails are coming in, but this is a lot more fun. What can I say? So
good choice.
Yes.
And as time goes by, you're all going to realize that the person who got the most out of this is the gentleman who sang for us. Because it was the biggest risk and the biggest reward. And that was well taken. So, all right, let's see if we can get some more on international news. See if anybody's into the Venezuela, because I feel like I'm a little bit behind on Ukraine and Venezuela and China's response. Is there anybody who's caught up this morning?
No here.
All right. Let's take a gentleman with the white earphones on, and then after that we'll talk about some international news.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Adams.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to tune in. Thank you so much for all the time, energy, and effort you put into your show. I found you about, I think it was about 3 years ago when you had initially gotten canceled. And around that time, for the past like 4 or 5 years, I was really interested in the nonstop sensationalism around like race and critical race theory, and left me really frustrated and skeptical about how we were shifting as a society on the topic of racism. And when you got canceled for your comments, I just didn't buy the media narrative about it. Um, and I didn't believe you were actually a racist because I felt like that false accusation was going on around so much. So I
Right.
actually started watching your videos mainly to fact check and see for myself. And I ended up deciding that I didn't believe the media narrative about you. But I also realized I stumbled onto something genuinely amazing. Your commentary on politics and culture and life is some of the most clear-eyed and insightful stuff I've ever come across. And actually, when I found you, I was struggling hard with addiction, career direction,
Really?
relationship issues. Yes, sir. And I was just trying to figure out what the hell my purpose was. And your perspective and reframes have been a really bright spot and a pretty rough spot in my life. Um, and I was able to quit my addiction. I was really deep into, I don't know if you guys know what kratom is, but it's essentially that at least the levels that I was doing, kind of like painkillers. I was able to stabilize my career and expand on my business that I've been running for the past 10 years. I was able to pursue building talent stacks and save my relationship that was really struggling at the time. So,
Wow.
I found a really great meaning by being useful to other people and being more present for people because, my addiction and things like that was something that made me very absent in a lot of people's lives, and I wasn't being as useful as I could be. So I just wanted to thank you so much for everything that you've done for us, and I'm really grateful for all the time you've done, all the things you've done for us. I've watched you every single day ever since the day you got canceled, and I'm really grateful for your generosity.
That's what I do it for. You are the reason that this has meaning for me. And when you tell me it has extra deep meaning, because, you want to go through this world knowing that you made an impact and a good one. And so I've told you this story, of course, how after my divorce, I pledged myself to the world and hoped that, there would be some kind of ripple effect that went forward. So it means a lot to me when you tell me that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Let's see if we can get some topics about the world. Okay. If you've been on a while, could you turn off your camera and we'll get some new people who come up here. And if there are some new people who have been invited. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. It's nice to connect with you, and this is a really fun forum that you have going on.
I like the fact that people are not walking over each other and everybody's being polite. I wasn't sure that would be the
Absolutely.
case. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I just want to say, thank you. You've been a great guide in this crazy world, especially as a young person, and things that you have taught, such as talent stacks, systems over goals, and embarrassments, have been really crucial lessons in my successes and my continual successes. The path I took in life was to learn this crazy niche trade of making neon signs, and to learn this and to go here and to be successful really required each one of these systems to ensure my success. So again, thank you, and a daily listener for a very long time now.
Good. I'm glad that worked out. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to give one tip to the caller just above you to move your face away from the screen a little bit.
My arms are only so long, Scott. So, I'm on my phone. So that's about as far as I can go.
Much better. Much better.
I apologize.
All right.
So I go by Heisenberg because I'm in the occupied state of California. And
Much better. That's good.
there we go. I guess there's also the clipping from the other people on the screen. So it clipped up my my video.
Okay.
So really appreciate you and everything you've done. I don't know if you recall any of the comments I've made or anything, but I'm a cancer survivor. I had bladder cancer and pretty severe bladder cancer, and so I kind of walked with you here in this journey here. So my result has been good so far for 10 years. So
nice.
But I really appreciate that you fought the fight, and you continue to fight it, because we love to have you here with us as long as we can.
Wow.
Be nice.
Yeah, well, I guess I feel like a brother.
You got to clean right here.
This is the problem with this model. My lips are paralyzed.
Yep.
Got it.
You got it.
Now, isn't that better than just listening to a podcast? You get to watch
Absolutely.
wash off me.
Well, I guess I feel yeah. So lots of love from everybody here. Everyone's really happy to see you every day. So
Thank you. Looks like somebody below you wants to make a comment. In the orange.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Did you have anything to say about international affairs?
To be honest, it's very fascinating, and I'm just pretty much an observer. I just have to pay attention and see what everybody's got to say about it. I like to look at it from like the most logical perspective, and I'm getting a lot of that from you. And I recently joined the locals. I want to say about 3 weeks ago, and I did it because you actually remind me of my dad. And he's not with us anymore. He passed away in 2004. And I just kind of stumbled across everything. I'm a late bloomer. I'm going to be honest. And it's I've been watching a lot of stuff on X. That's mainly where I get my news, and of course locals. Been here every morning since I've joined.
Wow.
I can't hold my. I'm on my phone. I tried to use my computer. I couldn't figure that one out. It's morning time, and I'm in my morning. I got the silly hat on. I apologize for that, but it's not real warm in my house. I'm in Lower Michigan, real windy. And
well, thank you for joining, and thank you.
I'm glad I figured it out, and thank you. I'm really glad to talk to you. I never dreamt that I'd get to actually talk to you.
I was just talking to another cartoonist yesterday about our early days when we were single, and or at least there were periods I was single. And if I would do a book signing, there'd be a long line of people wanting to get the book signed. And I looked in the row, and it'd be like, man, 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 man. And then there'd be one, attractive woman. And I'd say to myself, it seems that I'm very attractive to some women because they're standing in line to get my book signed. And then when they come up, every single time, the woman would say, "Oh, my father loves you. Can you sign this for my dad?"
Well, that's
my ego would go.
Oh, you actually look like my dad. I wish I could show you a picture of my dad. I don't have a way of doing it, but you really resemble my father.
I am your dad.
I think you might be. Incarnation. It's pretty wild. He was a very logical-minded guy. He, when I was very little, I didn't even pay attention to anything or anything about politics, and he told me that Biden is a crook, and I was pretty young. I might have been like 14. I'm going to be 64 pretty quick, and I remembered him saying that, and then I just started kind of paying attention to stuff, and at the time I wasn't voting or anything. Obviously, I was pretty young, and then when I got older, I always voted, conservatively, and started paying a little bit of attention to stuff. But as I got older, I started paying a wee bit more attention and learning. There's some pretty interesting stuff. But then when President Trump got elected on his first term, is when everything kind of went from darkness to light. That's when it was like the big reveal, when we really started learning about the stuff that we didn't get access to before. And then it really just snowballed. I mean, it was like amazing. And then when Elon bought Twitter, I mean, that I'm just going to say that just saved us all. That's probably saved maybe the entire world. I know that's a big thing to say. And it's a great time to just be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. I'm trying to multitask here and get.
Scott.
What's that?
Oh, I was just wondering. It's really intimidating coming up on camera in front of all these people and everything. Do you think maybe we should offer some people to just talk from the waiting room on audio only?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is that
all they have to do is unmute their mic and talk. And so if we just invite them, I think they might.
But the video would be there, right?
The video is not going to be up, and so you're in auto mode, so it only pulls people up if. But I think they can unmute from the. Can somebody try to unmute and say hi from the waiting room?
Yo, yo, yo.
Okay. Who is that? Jeff?
That was.
So you could all hear Jeff, but you could not see him, right?
Right.
And we don't know who it is. The people that are just watching won't know who it is if they don't tell us.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there are only 15 people in here, and I think it seems like most people who wanted to speak have come on camera and talked already. Maybe there's somebody.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm already looking for Owen, and I see that Owen volunteered, but I do not know how to get Owen on audio but not video. But Owen is smarter than I am, so all right, now I'm just showing. I go to auto. I can only go back to the people I've been viewing. Let me see what happens if I dismiss. All right. One extra person jumped on. Do I have to dismiss again? This interface needs some clarification. There's a whole bunch of people I allowed, but they don't show up. Let's try. I've got duo, photo, solo. There might be a delay here too. But it keeps going back to the last three.
Scott, I just wanted to mention, this is Jeff again. I didn't get to say this when I was on the live stream, but I was actually referred to you by ChatGPT.
Really?
Yeah, about a year and a half or two ago, I was asking, I put in some filters. I asked about podcasters, commentary, and things like that. And you came up in the list, and it's been smooth sailing since. And I just wanted to also wish you a wonderful day and look forward to, continuing to take in your content and consider the wisdom. So thank you.
Now, why are some people popping in and out?
It's because their video turns on and you're in auto mode.
Okay. So I'm looking at a gentleman in an all wooden room. And you are?
My name's Grant Turner. Scott, nice to meet you.
And oh, look, sorry, you got overshadowed by a little girl with a book.
Deservedly so. That's a cute one.
Ah,
what book do you have?
Dilbert.
Which one? Don't be shy. 7 Years of Highly Defective People.
Oh, that's a good book.
You like it, Mimi?
Yeah, I think it's a little funny sometimes.
She found this book in my stuff, and she's obsessed with it lately. Settle. And she asked for a Dilbert calendar, and so she has your 2026 calendar.
All right. I feel like we rudely pulled away from Jeff. Is it Jeff?
Come again?
Grant?
The Grant?
Yes, sir.
So Grant, I feel like you have something else to say that looked good. And we'll keep an eye on the book, okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, Scott, I am so grateful to have found you. I became an entrepreneur early in life, and I got in very deep, and then I learned about systems, and oh my God, my life changed in a hurry. And the first decade of being an entrepreneur was brutal, and systems has allowed me to just kind of cruise through the second half of my career as an entrepreneur, and I owe it to you. I'm so grateful.
Wow. What did you do differently exactly with systems versus goals?
Well, I was reactive only, so I spent all day putting out fires. I never had the luxury of really planning ahead. Namely because I just grew so quickly. I started with a construction company, and then it was a restaurant and another restaurant, and it was a runaway train. I was more productive than I could keep up with. So systems for everything. If it requires me to be involved, I'm not doing it. So, and it's not just delegating. It's part of my system is never just, okay, this is my system, I'm done. I refine it and refine it and refine it. And when I think I'm done, I just keep refining it. And it feels like, I guess the best way to put it, my business 10 years ago before I found you felt like an old tractor or something, like it was breaking down and smoking and shaking and rattling. And now it feels like a Tesla. It feels like a self-driving car. It's smooth, it purrs, it's wonderful. And maybe the most rewarding part of it is that I'm now giving your books to my employees who are showing an entrepreneurial spirit and coming up underneath me. I'm passing your lessons along. But I got to tell you, Scott, while I've got you, I got to tell you the number one thing that you've done for me in my life. During COVID, my businesses, my restaurants were shut down. My girlfriend was at the time was things weren't good. COVID was not fun for us. So she split up. We split up, and I was about 40 and alone, or late 30s alone. My business is crumbling, and I was going down, baby. Like, it was not good for me. And thank you so much, Scott. The simultaneous swaddle it really was, it saved me. and I stayed the course, and I stayed strong, and I stayed optimistic for everybody around me. And now I'm just so blessed that my businesses have recovered. My girlfriend and I got back together, and we have 2 kids now, the 2 of the most beautiful kids in the entire world. And I really do owe a major debt of gratitude to you, Scott. Thank you so much.
Wow. I'm really happy to hear that.
It's wonderful. So here's what I'm going to do from here on out. Because I've seen what you've accomplished and how high you've set the bar, it's not enough for me anymore just to keep doing what I'm doing and building and starting businesses, and that's all great. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to change the way houses are built. I think I've got a design that will revolutionize housing. Anything from tiny homes up to multi-million-dollar customs. And that's one thing I'm going to do. And then the second thing I'm going to do, I'm in a unique position because I live in Boulder City, Nevada. We're the only 16,000 people population, but we're the largest city land-wise in Nevada. So it's just a really unique town. We're home of Hoover Dam. We've got massive solar fields. And I'm going to, because I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm really influential. Whatever the next big energy thing is, whether it's nuclear, whether it's fusion, I'm going to give free power to Boulder City residents for life in exchange for putting some sort of major energy center in our already bustling energy. We already have a really strong energy sector, and I'm gonna do much bigger things, Scott.
Wow. Well, I think you will. I can see much bigger things in your future.
I don't want to take all your time, Scott. I just wanted to say thank you, and you're my guy.
I'm glad it's working. I'm now trying to figure out. It looks like Owen is going to do a coffee with Scott Adams Spaces at the usual today. So if you know how to get there, there will be more under the Spaces feature. And I'll just say a few more things, and then I'm going to be pooped out. So go to Owen Gregorian and after the show, and you'll get more goodness. All right, we have a woman who just joined, who's playing with her hair.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name's Jessica. I've chatted with you over the years.
Oh, hi, Jessica.
Yeah, hi. And it's wonderful to see all of you on here and to hear you, Scott, that you seem like you're doing better this morning. So I just appreciate everything you've taught all of us over the years and the way that you've helped us to be bolder and how you're even showing up right now with so much courage. So thank you so much for that inspiration. We need more men like you.
If there were more men like me, I'd be competing with more people. No, just kidding. Well, did you have anything that you would like to add to the group in particular?
I guess I will just say when I came across you again, probably in like 2015, 2016, and you and I used to chat, and I think I got you in trouble on Twitter a few times. So my apologies. I always had a good time. I always had fun. And
you got me in trouble?
Yes. Yeah. It was the Kaiser Khan situation on the Gold Star families at the DNC. I think But yeah, no, I think you really helped people to step up and be bold and to, I I definitely felt that in the career trajectory that I had. You made me do things, or inspired me to do things that I never thought I could possibly do. And now that I'm a mother, I feel like it's also transformed the way I'm going to raise my son. And I'm more hopeful for his future because of what you've shared with me and with us. And I can't wait for him to read your books when he's older. So thank you for that legacy. It's going to be generational for sure.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
And I want to make sure I talk to, I have not yet talked to Black T-shirt, have I? We'll get back to Orange as well, right after Black T-shirt, okay?
Hi, Scott. My name is Caleb. I just wanted to chime in quickly because I knew that I might not get a chance to do so again. And I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done. I first started listening to you at the tail end of my college experience. And at the time, I was a big Bernie supporter. You would often start your shows by saying that you were to the left of Bernie, but you understood economics better. And so I was always eager to listen to better arguments and smarter people, and it was obvious that that was you. And you often have said that Trump would change the way that we saw reality and would change how we saw the world. And I think really that's your legacy, teaching us about 2 movies on one screen, teaching us to enjoy the golden age and to understand what that could be, while other people are kind of suffering in their mind and from their own media sources that are not willing to look beyond. And like everyone else has said, through COVID, I mean, you really got us through that time. Your nightly shows turning into the man caves and the micro lessons. A lot of what you shared with the UI for reality, I had a mother who suffered from cancer for nearly 15 years. And she believed very strongly in the power of words and the power of affirmations, and that the way that we see the world and communicate and the words that we use can alter our own reality and our own experiences. And I really saw that prolong her life, which was so important to me growing up. And so when you taught us that, a lot of that was reinforcing what I felt like I had learned early on in life. But I just have to say that every single day, whether it's don't use the top of your car for temporary storage, which I'm tempted to do every day, and your voice is in my head not to do that, from tiny things like that to massive things, about global economics and understanding data and the user interface for reality. All of that has completely changed my life and allowed me to start my career after college in a strong way, and especially How to Get a Raise, which I loved. And so all of that has changed all of our lives in an enormous way, and I'm so grateful for you in ways that I can't even express. So I wish you peace and strength, and I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Very well said. I appreciate that a lot. If you don't mind, I'll go to Orange Jumpsuit.
Yeah, I don't know if that's me, but we'll go with that. Scott, it's an incredible opportunity that I thought I'd never have to actually say hi to you. I'm so old. I've started reading Dilbert in the newspapers, many, many years ago, and followed it through there, and then followed you online. And I think a few things, and I want to share a couple things with you. I think you and Trump and Elon did more for changing and saving this country than probably any other 3 individuals that I can possibly name.
Really?
Your getting canceled and stepping out and starting to speak the truth felt like it began to open the door for the rest of the world to say it's okay to speak truth. And I appreciate that so much. I mean, and I always wanted to say thank you. And I've typed that online. It's like, if I had the opportunity to say thank you one day, I'd love to do that. And just this came up this morning. It could be the best gift I've ever been given.
In other words, affirmations worked.
And I will share with you a couple of other things real quick. There was one time you had gotten your e-bike and you went out on a test ride, and you referenced going to a Starbucks, and I knew roughly where you live. I live on the other side of the country, but I knew roughly where you lived, and I was like, man, I'm just going to go out to that Starbucks one day and see if I happen to bump into him. It'll be great. But I had a dream the other night. I've been thinking a lot about you, as we all have, and I had a dream the other night. And I had been thinking that day a lot about, like, if I ever had a chance to meet Scott, what would I say to him and things like that. And in my dream that night, which I don't dream a lot, you actually had me over to your house. and you kind of took me on a tour of your house, and we went up to your putting green, and you made all 3 putts. So I look forward to the day that hopefully I can meet you up again at some point, and we'll do some putting practice. So I thought that was kind of whether you want to call it the simulation or anything else, that was the gift that was given to me to say, hey, if you don't have the chance to meet him, here's your chance to have a little interaction with Scott. So this just feels like a bonus day. Daily I run to wherever I am, to some electronic screen, my phone somewhere at 10 o'clock. And if it's 9:59 and I'm not logged in yet, I'm running to try to get to that sip, because that simultaneous sip has become such a high point in my day of just like, okay, that resets me for the day. It's going to be a great day ahead. The sigh that we all collectively do after that sip, I think has been good for humanity. And I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. I've got 2 adult kids. I am taking your material to them, teaching them about reframes now. I've got 2 grandkids now. When they get a little older, I'll teach them about your content. I mean, I think that's been one of the things that'll be your legacy, will be that what you have done for the world in this generation has been amazing, and that's going to get multiplied throughout time, beyond a scope that you understand.
Here's my question to you. Things either grow or shrink, as I've said too many times. Do you think my legacy will grow or shrink?
I think it has to grow, exponentially grow. I don't know the size of your audience. I mean, I can see how many people are logged in and watch your streams every day and things of that nature, and buy your books, I'm sure. And your messages and your way of thinking and teaching, and now that it's been put into music and all the other things, it is such a way of having us to focus on life that just I don't find anything like this anywhere else. Right? I have my own spiritual beliefs and things that guide me, but from a practical human standpoint, I you're up at the top, and I think that a lot of us feel that value, and we're going to want to continue to share that with others. So your idea of keeping the community together and having different people maybe teach different topics and things like that, it's a fantastic idea, because the world needs it, and the world's hungry for it, and we'll need to continue to share that on and on. And I know that you'll be able to watch from wherever you'll be and watch that grow over time as well. So I'm comforted in that.
I am absolutely amazed that this has worked so well this morning. It really says something about the group, as much about me. So,
you brought some great people together. Obviously, there's a lot of people who love you, and it just speaks to the content of who you are as a person and the amount of giving that you've done in your life to the rest of us, and we appreciate it.
I got to figure out how to invite specific people. We'll get that next time. So for now, I have to say goodbye.
Hey, Scott,
yeah.
Can we just all give you a simultaneous hug right now?
Absolutely.
Simultaneous hug.
Simultaneous hug.
Big hugs. Big hugs.
Big hugs. All right. I appreciate that a lot. I'll try to be back tomorrow. If I'm no worse tomorrow, then we'll do this again. Oh, cat. Yeah. Be free to bring your cats whenever you like. Okay, everybody. Goodbye for this morning.
Take care,
Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you. Love you.